Let me begin by saying hail to you all who have decided to give this a view. It's Anthony Card again, and I'd like to talk about a subject that has a lot of differing opinions and viewpoints on it. Brings upon a lot of discussion and controversy. I'm hoping that talking about this, I can see other people's viewpoints about the subject. Again, I'd like to reiterate that one of my favorite things about this belief system is that you can take it any way that you want as long as you are evolving and educating yourself in the proper manner. Nothing's really set in stone. Of course, there's things that everybody commonly agrees upon, but everything means something different to somebody else. After my readings and my studies, this is how I've come to understand life after death. Like I said again, I really hope to be able to discuss with more people their viewpoints, and maybe somebody can learn something from me, and hopefully I can learn something from somebody else. One of the first things I'd like to start with is the retention of the Judeo-Christian belief that, we mourn the dead and then expect them to go reside either in one place or the other. That you will live on permanently, like you'll regrow some other body, this one will get discarded and they'll give you a brand new one, and you either go get tortured or you either go be happy. One of the big things that got me in my belief system is that I don't believe that we should mourn the dead. I mean, of course you're sad when somebody leaves, but we should celebrate their life instead of mourning the dead. And according to the allegories and the lore that I've read, it seems to me that our forebears believed in some type of reincarnation, and I will explain that here in a little bit. The cycle of birth, death, and rebirth goes all through nature. There's no reason that it should be different from us. And that is what it is. It's a cycle, and it's inevitable. This body that we have here on Midgard is just a mortal shell, a vehicle, to advance us on our spiritual path. The path which I've chosen is the path of Wotan. For others, some may be different, but again, this is my belief system. A lot of people take the myths literally, meaning, they expect to die and go reside in one of the halls of Asgard. There's many of them. A lot of people take it esoterically. I'm going to try to differentiate in between the two. It's kind of hard. Kind of a weird subject to speak upon, but I'll do my best. In my belief system, I don't believe that there's an almighty judge that's going to decide where you go or if you go. Where you go or how far you advance on your spiritual journey depends on what type or how much of weird amenia or orlog that you have acquired in this existence on Midgard. What have you put out into the world? What kind of energy are you putting out there? What kind of energy are you receiving back? What kind of deeds are you putting out there? And what kind of person are you in general? All this depends upon how well you educate yourself, how well you strengthen your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit. You can't have a clean soul if you're doing other people dirty. But from my studies, the mediocre and the evil go to the cold, dark realm of Niflheim, which to me compares to the Indo-Aryan astral world, symbolizing being drawn into a lower level of consciousness, which corresponds with your subconscious desires, fears, guilts, and egos. You haven't progressed upon your egocentric walk yet. You're still stuck in your negative ways. You're still stuck in your guilt, your fears. you haven't progressed upon the chain of evolution yet. So, but if you read the lore or you study the allegories, you know, corresponding to Baldur's return in the lore, they had to believe that you may be able to elevate yourself again and come back. You may be able to elevate yourself on a higher level of consciousness. Baldur does return in the lore. You know, in viewing rebirth, it's important to look at how such works in the relation to achieve the end goal, which is the superhuman consciousness, the superconscious awareness, the Wotanic consciousness. This is the divine spark that resides within each of us. The amount of progression that we achieve depends on how we nurture that spark, what we feed it, if you will. You know, are you feeding it something that's going to strengthen your spark, or are you dulling your flame? You know, you've got to work to keep a fire alive and in shape, burning right, just like you have to work to keep your body alive. If our body is the vehicle for our spiritual advancement, then you have to keep it tuned up just like you would your car. You know, you've got to work out, you've got to educate your mind, you've got to eat healthy, you've got to do everything you can to become stronger physically and mentally and spiritually. You know, now there's another thing that I always hear. Everybody says they want to go to Valhalla. Everybody wants to go to Valhalla. Everybody's going to be an Einherjar. Well, to me, the Einherjar are those who by will and self-discipline have overcome the limitations of the ego conscious and experienced the first initial stage of superconscious awareness. From everything I've read, Valhalla is comparable to the Indo-Aryan casual world of pure consciousness. The Valkyries symbolize the awakened vortexes of energy in the spine, each of which contribute to a certain degree of higher awareness and evolution. These vortexes are like doors which are closed to the egocentric and limit awareness. They can be opened by self-will and discipline. Joining Wotan at Ragnarok symbolizes reaching the Wotanic goal of superconscious awareness. What this means to me is that is our end goal, is to evolve to the highest plane of existence that we can. You know, it may not be this lifetime, it may not be the next lifetime, it may not be 3 lifetimes. Not everybody's going to make it to Valhalla. Not everybody's worthy. But your goal is to do your best to get yourself worthy, so in the next plane of existence, maybe you will be. You know, Midgard is only a part of our spiritual evolution. But as in every leg of the relay race, you must do your best at it. So in your next one, you've got a head start. But if we spend our lives indulging in, you know, lustful acts, aggrandizing, living dishonorably, Niflheim will be our dismal destiny, and we'll have to wait to come back and retry again. But devote yourself to will and self-discipline. Educate yourself. Work out. Become physically strong. You know, make the life of your descendants a better place, an easier place. Give them a head start. Give them something to start off with. We could shorten the path of our self-evolution, and we can become the superhuman species again. Valhalla will be our destiny. I hope that helped out a little bit. Like I said, I hope it brings upon some discussion, so hope to hear from you.